All right. Hey, Christian, it's so good to be talking with you today. And on what we're going to be doing today is just going over some things on the website. So when you're rebuilding it with some very specific things in mind. How to drive traffic, right? How to get the planner itself and all the things I can anticipate that you're going to build out of that. How to get traffic to this stuff. Now, we're going to be talking about some very specific things. We're going to be talking about organic traffic. All right. We're going to talk about the organic traffic, how you can do that. And you can do that through your blog. You can do that through some keyword searching, stuff like that. And then we're going to talk about utilizing the paid ad structure, which is just works. It just works, right? It works so good because when you can do things in the paid fashion, then you can do math. You can say, I sent this many ads. I paid for this many ads. I got this much traffic. I got this much conversion. Does that
Right.
make sense? So
Yes.
when we do that, now what we can do is you can say, I now know the math of the success of what I'm trying to accomplish here. Right now, some things that I noticed right away was awesome, beautiful picture, but guess what it's not of?
Oh, what the planner.
Absolutely. Right. So I come onto the site. If I'm a customer, now I'm asking myself, what is this about?
Mm.
And when we ask questions, when customers get in there and they get a bit confused, that's when they leave because they go, you know what? I don't have time to figure stuff out. I need to know what's what. I need to be excited immediately. And again, when I looked at this picture, I thought, oh, this is a beautiful picture. But then I had to scroll to get to
Right.
what your ask was, right? What am I trying to do? Well, I would think that in this case, you're trying to present this planner. I think this planner will help your life. So it should be the focus. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You got any questions on that?
No, that makes sense.
All right. So, and what I'd like to see is this planner then switch. So if you're building out your other one, think about it. Somebody just dropped onto my site. I paid an ad, they came on. What is in it for them, right? We hear that all the time, the what's in it for them part, right? So something about the visual and the wording itself has to be boom, enticing. It has to be something that someone says, I need that. Tell me more. So, why we want to maybe adjust and move this picture to a different page is with that in mind. Why
Okay.
right now? That's that ask is like going on a date and saying, "Hey, I know we just met, but you thinking about getting married?" No, man, I just want to tell me more. Get me
Hmm.
interested, get me into the story. So that's what we want to move this around for. Now, something interesting. I love this. All right, I really like the saying. I liked all of that stuff, but what would be even more powerful is if you had this up and then you had a video, right? The
Okay.
thing is, people are into what we have to say, right? We talked a little bit about that off camera, talking about the story. Jump me into it. Give me a little story about the game plan planner. Tell me its importance. Tell me how it's helped your life. Do you got some testimonials that we'll get into a little bit later that show me why this is the thing that I need to always have in my possession? You see what I mean? And I'll show you something here in a minute where it shows you using your planner, right? Something like that. So this picture with the words are what people see immediately. They start
Hmm.
asking, why should I care about this? I mean, what's going on here? What do they want? You know what I mean? And then that video then is the opportunity for them to click on the video and see the coach, right? See the personality behind that. Hear your pulling them into why they should even be interested in what you have to offer. Does that make
Right.
sense?
That does.
right? And that's what's grips people. I've been looking at and researching some of the top converting sites, and that's what they do. They'll have that boom, they'll have the words, and then they'll have a video, and all of that is what we call above the fold, right? You want it up here.
Right.
Okay, now every single picture, every single thing that you have on here, you want it pointed toward your potential customer, right? Like, for example, I saw a picture that, and this is what we're asking of all the pictures, right? We're saying,
Mm-hmm.
okay, we know what this one is. We see you working there. Awesome, right? A little wording on here, putting the game plan together. Ask me how. Little things like that, right? And
Okay.
then people go, oh, that's interesting. I would like to know how she did that. But what it does is it brings people in. It gives them an opportunity to click on it and go, yeah. Now, this is a great picture, right? It's you doing, you, but I'm asking, what is it for? And you want to make sure all and everything you're putting on here is for the person that you're trying to present the opportunity to.
Okay. So, so if I were, when I change that portion, so you mean even outside of the header that's above the picture, there should be some words once you hover on the picture?
Like, for example, here, yeah, exactly. So, for example, here, um, you can adjust that to say, meet your coach. Meet your
Okay.
coach. This is your coach, right? But here's what happened. When I looked at this, and I'll show you on this picture here what I mean by that, right? Having some words, read the reviews. Um, if you want to say that, that's fine, right? But then maybe have pictures of people that have already purchased, and then say read the reviews of
Okay.
actual purchasers. You see what I'm saying? So now what
Yeah.
oftentimes happens, if you're branding you, but what we're trying to do is present this book. So the book has to be the thing. The planner has to be the thing that
Right.
we're
Okay.
consistently, that's the key,
Mm-hmm.
consistently presenting to folks. Now, here's something interesting. When you said meet the coach, now I'm going, is this a coaching program? It takes me out of the mindset of, well,
Right.
I thought it was a planner situation. So what ends up happening is that little bit of confusion,
Mm-hmm.
just enough for me to go, what is this again?
Yeah.
Right now, we know that later on, you are going to coach people, right? You can use that as one of your upsells, your one-time offers, things
Mm-hmm.
like that. You can use that as, okay, listen, let me coach you through how to get the power of using the game plan planner.
Right.
You see what I mean? That
Yeah.
becomes the other part. But right now, I just want you focused on understanding the concepts of the game plan. This is you as if you were talking to your clients and potential purchasers. And then you say, well, later on, I'll show you how to get the power of that. Now, if they purchase it, then they're going, yeah, you know what? I purchased a lot of these things and they just sat on the shelf, right? They gathered dust. And why they gather dust? Well, nobody came in and was the coach to show me how to get the power out of it, right? To hold me accountable, to make sure that I'm putting my stuff down. That's the longer range stuff that you can do, right? Your masterminds, all of that stuff, all from this one asset. Does that make sense a little bit?
Yeah, it does.
All right. So that's what I'm kind of getting to. Let me show you another thing. When I went over to shop, there's something I saw that I thought, oh man, this is interesting. Tell me more about that. Right. On this part here, um, we want to use languaging as power, right? And we've heard that before, right? The power of the pen. But
Mm-hmm.
what we want to do is use some different copywriting techniques, and I can show you some of this stuff. Use different copywriting techniques that then pull me in to a potential story here, right? I love that. It was created, serious about identifying and mapping out your goals. Our worksheets, consistent checkpoints, da da da. That's good, right? That's that come hither information. And then we want to have the actual call to action. We want to put this maybe in a different spot. Here it's showing up. It might show up a little bit differently on mobile, but we want to make sure that it's probably right under here as opposed to down here. You get the power of the words working for folks, right? And then they go, oh man, I got to have this. And we want to say it in a way that just, just drips with, oh my goodness, if you don't have this game planner today, your life is not going to be the same, right? And they go, I got to get this right now. Add to cart, right? And then this is something that I saw was really interesting right here. When I saw this, I didn't click on it, right? But I thought, oh, that is a really cool pin. At first, I thought it was earrings. I was like, man, what is it? What is going on here? I thought this was about a game plan, But then it's a pin, right? With the little diamond look, beautiful. Tell me more about it.
So
right
you mean
here.
There should be more of a description?
Yes. Why? Because I got to guess. I go, if I just looked at it before I even clicked on it, then what's happening? My thoughts are away from the actual whatever. This could be something with the price point that you have. This could be something you can add on for free. And this is the math that you have to do, right? You got to determine, what the cost to acquire the customer. We'll get into all that stuff a little bit later. But imagine now you have the game planner. And then, hey, by the way, let me tell you about the bonus that you'll get. People love bonuses. Right. They love things that seem like it's a sale, even if it's a high ticket item. If you can put on bonus items and things that people are feeling like they're getting because they purchased this, now you're not just selling a product. Right. You've now created an offer to people. And we talk about that in digital marketing all the time, is how can I create something that people go, well, shoot, the bonuses are what I'm really wanting. Right. I'll take that. This cool pen is I've never seen anything like boom, right? That becomes the opportunity. All right. And then when you having your builder build these out, just remember, you want come hither kind of language, right? You want people just going, I can't go.
Would you pay a copyright person?
I personally wouldn't, because I know how to copyright, but it took me a lot of years to learn this, right? I would, depending on what I'm selling, some things I'm going to figure out, right? If this was a $4,100 program, then yeah, I'd go pay a copywriter $2,000 to write me some copy. You see what I mean?
Right.
But if, with this one, $41, no, we're going to figure some stuff out, right? Okay. And there's some things I can help you with. I've got some software. I've got all kind of stuff that'll be able to kind of help you get the essence of what you want to say. And then we'll kind of put it in and figure it out.
Okay.
Is that fair enough?
Yeah.
But when you start getting to your high ticket items, you started getting into your programs, for example, the things you're going to be offering in the future. And you know that the cost of getting this one thing written is only a fraction of what you'll make if you can say it in a way that gets people in, pay it. Gotcha. Pay your talent. You know that from real estate. You can go over there and try to pull up that floor, or you can just hire somebody that's got all the tools. All right, so this is one that I liked, and I want to mention it because when I saw this right here, right, I said, this is what should be led with, right? Imagine your game plan, lifestyle planner tells me exactly what it is. Beautiful writing. Now imagine this being the first page, right? And now you got your video, and then you've got the planner itself, and people kind of can scroll here and they go, oh, now it's showing me what I'm getting. Right? Showing me what I'm getting. So now I have on the very first page something that's more come hithery, right? It's like, ooh, I gotta have this. This is dope. That's becoming what I see here. I just saw it out of order.
Okay.
Right. And man, this was that hits you right there. It's like, oh man, I'm looking at this, and then I go, what is this? Oh, and then maybe, like say, you can either have your video down here. If this were the first page, let's say, for example,
Right. You would put video first and then the breakdown.
I would have this as the very first thing people see because they read,
Okay.
and people typically read left to right, right?
Right.
So your game plan. Oh, who did you just point it at?
The reader,
Yes,
the visitor. Yeah.
you said your, and now I'm kind of going, yes, where is it? Now I'm going,
Mhm.
boom, and then you show, here it is. This is how it looks. Let me give this little video that kind of gets into, hey, listen, like this lifestyle planner, your game plan is about, right? Now you can get into, and why I created it is because, hey, I had a lot of stuff going and I needed to make sure things were in order, and I wanted to be able to visualize. I was able to pull in, you see what I mean? Now
Right.
you're getting into
Exactly.
the contents
Right.
of what's inside. In the goal planning, this is what we do, and this is why this is important,
Hmm.
to have something that you're going toward. This is you
Right.
talking.
Yes.
Then quarterly review. Come on, everybody. We know we got a whole bunch of three-quarter done stuff out there.
Hmm.
But when you're able to look back, this is your accountability opportunity. And if
Right.
you need me to come in and walk you through some stuff or get you fired up, well, that's $350 an hour, but it works. You see what I mean? You're now
Right.
leading them to somewhere. And each one of these is your opportunity to pull out why it's important that people get this. It's got this, it's got that, it's got the monthly goals, it's got the yearly goals, right? Look at this weekly template. Little things like that now are
Mhm.
encouraging people to say to themselves, this is why I haven't had success. It's because I haven't had this planner to get me there. And this is what you're saying, right? You don't have
Right.
to be a salesperson to really be, hey, listen, this is not selling. I'm just telling you what's helped me, at this age to be successful in these different categories. I used to do this. I got out of school with this degree. I had to translate that degree to income. Let me show you what I did. And it was planning. You see what I mean? Now people are going,
Right.
yeah, if that was just me, then I could have that success. Same thing,
Mhm.
right? The makings of a makings of a game plan workbook, right? And this is what's coming, or this either there or is it coming?
It's on the shop page now. It's a digital workbook.
Okay, that once again, you have an opportunity. If you've got a price point that people are going to go, well, I don't want to pay that much for my
Right.
planners, right? Or whatever. But then now this comes along and you say, this right here, in addition to your planner, we can give you this for this amount or free if you can afford it, right? If
Mhm.
the math
Right.
works. When you get your game plan, you're also going to get, and for a limited time, we're offering that for 50% off or
Mhm.
for 100% off. But that's for a
Right.
limited time. That's where you have a little countdown timer. You do
Right.
the promotion, you run the ads. People see the sense of urgency and they go, gotta have it. I want it because I know it's going to go up in a minute and it's going to be 30, $40.
Right.
Little things like that.
Right.
All right. Now, let's go over to meet the coach. Meet your coach. Now, this is where it got a little outside of what I saw as the main ingredient. But
Okay.
if you add this as what we also have is a coaching program that does this for
Okay.
you. Again, point it right back at your, customer. Right
Okay.
now, again, this is long before you create funnels, because funnels are going to be the thing that you are now presenting these other offers as people drop into your offer, your original offer.
Okay. Yeah.
Then they
That.
get to this level and they say, you know what? I would really like more. That's a part of the funnel, right?
Okay.
And then when we create funnels, we're doing it with a different idea than having a website in mind. A funnel is about action.
Right.
Brought you here. What do you think about that? Oh, I like it. Cool. Here's another thing. What do you think about this? Oh, that's cool too. I'll buy that. Right. You know what I mean? That becomes your offer opportunity, right? In the funnel. And then just wrapping people in all the way up to the membership program, the masterminds, and all that kind of stuff. So that's a little different than the website.
Mm-hmm.
What I would do is I test both approaches. If it doesn't, cost you, hit your pockets too hard.
Okay.
Testing both approaches. Here's my
But
website,
the website and the funnel.
and here's my action site, right? That's why I call
Mm-hmm.
funnel. So let's
So
see
like
which
that would be
one does the
connected to
best.
like a landing page instead. Gotcha.
Right, right. You can have your funnel, the landing page itself could be a part of the funnel. You see what I mean? We could
Mm-hmm.
literally, for example, we could take this one, any one of these could literally be your landing page,
Right.
right? And then as people come into that, if you can get them excited with what they see here, then that drops them into a different level.
Right.
You see, so that's why I was telling you, I says, you may not need to buy different funnels. You may just need to use what you got and
Mm-hmm.
separate it out with links that lead other places, things
Right.
like that. Make sense? Any
That
questions?
makes sense. No, that makes sense.
All right. And I know I'm doing a lot of talking here, but
No.
I get excited about this stuff. Right?
That's
This right
right.
here could change everything for somebody. You see what I mean? And you want
Yeah.
to have that kind of importance, having that kind of feeling, and that the confidence that you'll be able to show when you're on screen is one of the key things. And you can do it because you've created it. You got a process that brought you from I'm thinking about it to it's actually here that can be shown. And you can tell people, listen, it was because I put it in a plan. And then I walked the plan down. And then I came in monthly and quarterly and checked on the plan. These are all things in your book and all things that you're saying to them. Now, if you just do these things, you can have that similar kind of success simply because you're walking it down. You're not thinking about it one day, next month you bring it back. You forgot about some of the first thoughts to the heat from what you were thinking at first. You see what I mean? This is
Right.
you explaining how you got to the successes that you are headed toward each and every way. So now let's meet the coach. Right here is an opportunity. Oh my goodness gracious. We want to make sure that all of this stuff is so keyword rich. Now, one of the things to remember when we're keywording, we're keywording with something in mind. I want to know, and this is something I'll help you with a little bit later, is I've got keyword search tools that I use.
Okay.
And I ask myself, what are people asking about when they're asking about plans?
Mm-hmm.
When they're asking about planners, when they're anything like that. So then I would put in certain words into my keyword search tool and see what comes up. I'd go to certain websites that are selling the mess out of planners,
Right.
right? And there's some sites, some big sites. I'd see all the ads they're running, and there's ways you can do this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
or you hire it out, to get it done. Say, okay, this is what Randy showed me. Boom, 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 go, right?
Right.
Unless you're just into that. So then you go and you say, okay, what kind of words are they using? Right. So I'm asking all of those kind of questions. I'm saying, all right, what kind of words are they using to describe? Do they have an author of this thing? You can even go to Etsy pages and find out what's the top seller in the planning game. See
Right.
what kind of words they're using, and even right here in the description of the coach, you being the coach itself, you start putting those keywords in because those are the things that are going to get you some organic search, right? We had talking about organic and then talking about paid. Organic is coming because people are already looking for it, right? They're typing it in, they're going
Right.
over to Google, they're seeing what's there, and then they're clicking on the top one, two, three, or four.
Mm-hmm.
But the point is that because you're going to be putting these keywords in, you now have an opportunity
Right.
to rank for those words.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not in this space and you kind of go, dude, I don't know what you just said. Don't
No,
worry
I know what
about
you're
it.
talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, you don't. It'll come, right?
Yeah.
And the cool thing is, this is how we take. All right, I have an idea. I have a desire to have this thing out there. Then we go to keyword planning.
Okay.
right? Now I've been teaching my entrepreneurs a whole different way now, right? Outside of the work that I do for, my for the organization that I work with.
Mhm.
When I'm talking about to my entrepreneurs, I'm saying, okay, listen, let's start the business a whole different way. Let's go keyword search first,
Hmm.
then start the business, right? None of this, I got an idea. If that idea isn't being searched by thousands of
Right.
people, we ain't
Right.
doing it.
Right. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. That makes sense.
You see what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
so counterintuitive, right? But I think a lot of the successful people are doing a lot of this. Like you talked about a lot of the people that that are under 35 just killing the game. Well, they've tapped into that. What's being talked about? What's being presented? Are people like on the edge of their seats wanting this stuff? I'm building that,
Right.
right? And
Right.
wait a minute, didn't you graduate with a such and such degree? Yep, right. That's why I can show people how to take any degree that they've graduated with and leverage the heck out of it
Right.
using these approaches, right? It doesn't matter. I don't care if it's poli-sci or social work or whatever it is, all great degrees, but you're looking at it, wait a minute, I'm going to trade this for 37.5. That ain't going to get it done. But now if we trade it for another way and you
Mm-hmm.
use that same skill set that got you through that boring degree, right? To this new approach. Oh my God. So we want to put that in here. We want to have that information even in your story. You open the doors of your first business at 24. Well, heck, you look 25. So what was that, yesterday? Come
Wait.
on. It's like you can't be more than 25. What are you talking about? So you want to use different words, right? So
Gotcha.
5 short years ago, 10 short years ago, right? Or 10 years ago. So then
Mhm.
that, without telling your age at all, it suggests that you've been in business a minute.
Right.
Right. And now people are going, ooh, she kind of knows what she's doing. Right. With no experience in business, was able to build multiple businesses. Now you're talking without being specific, right? We don't know if they failed or if they gave you information. There's no such thing as failure, right? It's just information. So,
Right.
but this is what you're talking about, right? And you're saying, okay, I'm putting keywords in here: planner, planned, planning, things
Mhm.
like that, right?
Right.
Whatever that keyword search showed us are the top words
Mhm.
that then I'm putting that in here. Right. I remember asking women for recommendations of where to buy one, and instead they told me go make it. Absolutely, right. So
Mhm.
buy one is going to turn into buy a planner or whatever the keyword told me to say.
Right. Yes.
You see
Uh-huh.
what's
Yeah, that
happening
makes
here?
sense. Yes.
Yes. Any questions on this?
No, that makes perfect sense.
Right. That's how you're starting to, on your site itself, have words that can potentially rank. Now we don't know yet. Now, here's some more power. You ready? You ready to make some mental money?
Mhm.
All right, this is it. That's one of my programs I got coming up called Mental Money. Is now in here itself, you have an opportunity to link out back to one of your funnels, one of your pages, one of your
Mhm.
sales pages, one of your videos,
Right.
and we want to utilize that. We want to have in here. So in here, I may have game plan, lifestyle planner. Boom, I wanted that linked. So they can click
Right.
here, go back to it. Boom, sales page if they're ready. You see what's happening? Keyword searching, linking, so that you can drive traffic to where you want them to go. All right, let's just let that breathe a little bit.
No,
Right.
that makes total sense.
So this is what now you are talking with, and of course, share this video with them, right? And I do this anyway. If I'm giving somebody something for free, I say, hey, listen, can we make some content here so that I can use it for my training purposes, use it on my social media stuff. And what it also does is gives you an opportunity to, guess what? If it's somebody sees it out on my stuff, they go, well, who's the coach? I want to know about that. Click, right? That's a marketing opportunity for you as well. Is that all right?
Yeah.
All right. So now let's go here. This is something that I saw that is the potential for more power. even if you have people that you've given it away to and you want them to then give you reviews, right? We want to get the power of what they've said, right? And if any of the folks that here have their own business, then what we can do is trade, right? We can say, hey, listen,
Mhm.
you read the planner, it's working for you. Tell me how it worked. And then what I'm going to do is also put your business. This is, Tamara B from such and such, right? That's a linkable opportunity to them as well. Even if people are looking at your stuff, just giving them, and then letting them put your stuff in front of their audience. That could be the
Right.
other way, right? Little influencer stuff, right? So yeah, yep, this is good. This is good. But what I see missing, I'm going to read the reviews, but guess what? I might really like what Tamara says, right? What
Mhm.
Mary says. Well, I want to buy now. Get
Mhm.
your planner. So a call to action is missing.
Okay.
Call them to action after you've got them all excited with somebody what somebody said.
Right.
Even if it's down here at the bottom, hey, get your planner. Get yours today.
No, that
Leave
makes
your review, something like that, right? That gets them over to it. And that drives them again into the funnel itself. So every page then has power for you. All right, now this one right here, the blog, this is going to be one of the most powerful ways that you're going to be driving traffic your um, into the planner, right? So I saw a couple of them here, right? Great picture. And I would love to have something like this. Listen, what the game planner does is allow you to relax and run your businesses because guess what? You look relaxed.
Mhm.
Utilize the power of that picture,
Okay.
right? The power of the pictures is that look, I put these things together, I run my plans, I use my own product. And as I'm looking at this picture, it's consistent with what you're saying.
Mhm.
Now, we then go into keywording that too. You just said planner maybe 2 or 3 times, whatever words that seem to be in people's lexicon right now also is said because those become words that if people are searching for them, they get over to your page and they go, oh, I was searching for that. This is exactly what I need. And
Right.
that's exactly what I want. I want that bad bag right there. Now, if I was really on my game, I'd be like, hey, do you want this bag? we can link out to that. Right? You
Right.
want these shoes? You think they're dope? Well, guess what? I'm an affiliate for blah 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 shoe line. Anyway,
Right.
and we've seen
So,
that. So it's not inconsistent with what we've seen. Remember that some of those celebrity mags, they've got stuff now where you say, you know what, that's a dope dress. It says, would you like to wear one, but not that
yeah.
cost?
Yep, they sure
Right?
do.
That cost 2,000. This one's 230. So you now have the opportunity, if someone sees something here, to then be an affiliate for it. This is kind of going deep in the weeds, but this is what's possible as you start building up your
Right.
brand, building up your story. All of this stuff is for sale. Not just that shirt, that pen. Hey, I'm using the pen that y'all saw here that I'm giving away for the next 2 weeks,
Mhm.
right? And I keep getting so imagine you doing a video and you say, hey, I was presenting my planner the other day. I just released it here, everybody. I've got some offers here. And people kept asking me about this darn purse, right?
Mhm.
That's a video that you
Right.
now send out to your email list if you've been able to get one or develop one
Mhm.
to the people that bought the planner, right? Because they said, you know what, I was thinking about that purse.
Right. Right.
Right?
No,
If a
I
if a
like that.
guy bought the planner, then it's like, hey, look, your wife is asking about this because everybody else's wife seemed to be asking about this person. I got it over here. Click here. You're an affiliate for them. Boom, sell it. Just some extra stuff for you. So now here's one I thought. Let me go into the actual blog itself, and I wanted to see if it was keyword rich. Right? I got this one. You could be game plan lifestyle planner. You could be reaching number one on Google um, you know, if you have successfully done the work in making sure you rise to the top of the list. So anytime somebody puts in game plan, maybe it gets over the game plan lifestyle planner.
Right. Right.
You see my point here? And
Mhm.
that's a lot more strategic, but that's what your blog is supposed to do.
Right.
And while we're talking, it's like I need to drive more conversions. I need to, bring people
Yeah.
more to the page. Well, here's that opportunity right in here. Whatever you're talking about, make it about those keywords, right? I'll give you an example of something I did just the other day, because I've got some software that helps me, figure some of this stuff out, right? And I just literally took, it was like maybe 30 words that I did some research on another site. I saw all the stuff. Now this site makes millions of dollars a year, and I'm like, how did they do that? I went to their my keyword tool, plugged it
Mhm.
in, and it showed me all of the words they're using. Now
Mhm.
they're ranking for these words, so it would be hard for me to right now.
Right. Duplicate right now. Yeah.
Right now. I may not rank for them right now, but
Mhm.
if I can say things better, if I can link, or if I can use the right words in the right combination, I can put, the long tail keywords together. And now maybe people are hitting it in a certain way and they
Mhm.
go to my stuff.
Right.
That's just a beginning, right? I just took all of the words that they had,
Mhm.
and then I did something that I seem to have a talent for, is I can make combinations between
Mhm.
words, right? Back in school, back in the day, right? They used to say, put one word down the left side and match it up with words on the right side. And I used to love that game, right? It's like, oh yeah, right? I don't even know the whole, exercise, what it was for. But now I can do that now, is I can look at words and just tell a story
Right.
based on those
Right.
words, putting them in there.
Yeah.
Same concept. You're using the keywords, you tell a story, and you can do it in a variety of ways. If you're really good at just like typing it in and just looking at your keywords, and I just put them on the screen that says, what would this be? Then I say transition, and use that word. So I was able to put in,
Mhm.
of the maybe 20 to 25 words, I was able to put in about 15 of them. But they were all things that this other $1 million site was
Mhm.
ranking for. I just put it in my article,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? Didn't use their article, just the keywords. And that's
Mhm.
what you want to do here. So now what you're saying, I'm really hard to create a tool, right, that helps women to be their best version. I'm using a word that women are searching for. Boom,
Mhm.
something there.
Right.
That's the other opportunity, right? And then he says, I got, I get the question often asking what the game planner is, what it's all about, da da da. And then you break down, maybe put some bullet points in there that are keywords. Boom, 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 boom. It's about
Yep.
this, and this.
Yep.
Oh my
Yep.
gosh. And then people are saying, dig it, I'm digging the story. And then you
Mhm.
got your links. So I didn't want a planner link, right? That they can click and go back to buy. You see what I mean? And then you got some people on here that I saw a couple of responses like, "What is this guy talking about?" Right? Don't use those pictures. Like, that picture's me, man. I saw that in there. But this is one of the key things, right? What people then respond to is telling you a story. It's like, ooh, this is what they liked. Maybe I'll pull that out. That makes
Right.
sense.
Yep. That does.
These are the little things that then from your blog itself, you are continually creating content that pulls people to it.
Mhm.
That's growing organically,
Right.
right?
That
And
makes.
this is it, right? Now you have a keyword rich website. You've
Mhm.
got great copy that you can, figure out. I'll help you with some of that stuff. Is figure out how to say it in a way that brings the heat. Think about a movie trailer or a movie, right? When we're on Netflix, we look at the little slug line. What is this movie about? And the ones that we go, oh my gosh, I gotta see this movie. Sometimes they ain't great, but right. If they
Right.
get you to click and to buy and to watch,
They did their job.
they did their job. So we got to make sure our wording is in such a way, that our picture is in such a way that makes people go, I gotta know more. I think this can help me. This is all about me, not all about them. It's all about me.
Right. Right.
That's a part of how you now transform your website into a place where people say, when I get there, I'm going to buy, I'm going to convert because it's just so dope. It's for me.
Mhm.
Then when you do your paid ads, and this is the second part of it, your paid ads then start putting your feet to the fire, right? Because like, look, this is money on the line. This stuff got to
Mhm.
convert. And then the math of that is if I can show that for every $10 I spend over here, I get $20 out,
Right.
you doubled your money. If you
Right.
can even show break even, I just released, for example, I wrote a collaborator, I released a book that broke even in, I don't know, it was a matter of hours. Great title, put it in front of the right audience, right? It broke even. Now, what I just sent her an email and says, hey, listen, we've got to re-release constantly because we want that same momentum. Want that when
Mm.
you get the bump when you release, and then things go right. But to keep
Right.
them from going downhill is we continually put a situation together where we're seemingly like we're releasing all the time. I mean, that's getting into it a little bit. That's
Man, I would love to be
uh,
able to figure that because that's exactly what I deal with. Like, we
yeah.
have the bump when a new planner is coming out, and I'm tired of designing new planners. I think the planner that we have, I've learned a lot from previous
Mm,
editions. This one is really good. It's really expensive to keep redesigning a paper product.
mhm.
So I'd like to be able to just reprint and use what I have.
And there's nothing wrong with that idea. Just stick to that before you expand out because you know what I mean. Let's make this one $1 million seller and let it afford to build the next one,
Right.
right? And if
Right.
those metrics don't work, if it can't right now, then we just got to keep rocking this out. We've seen this over and over again. We've seen books that were old for some reason hit. Next thing you know, there's a new cover, right?
Hmm.
Not a whole new redesign of the book itself,
Right.
just a redesign of one element.
Mm.
You see what I mean? That
Right.
one element could be in business school. This is what they taught me. It says, you got to watch those menu items. I was like, what is a menu item? Well, if you go into a restaurant and they got a brand new menu, it costs to get rid of all the old ones to print up a new one when all
Mhm.
they really wanted to do was change a couple of prices.
Right.
Right. So how do we do that? Now get this. You go to a restaurant now. This is what the pandemic has created. You get a QR code that you
Yeah.
can go to. Guess what?
Mhm.
That makes it all the better,
Yeah.
right? Because it's electronic now.
Yeah.
That's why you want to do as much in the digital sphere as possible. I create, typically, I got 20 different digital products right now. And I want to do nothing but digital products. When I'm doing things like this, well, either I'm free giving it away for free or I'm charging, 150 to $600 an hour.
Right.
That's because what I'm getting ready to show you next is going to put money in your pocket now. It's
Right.
right. You can check anything that I said and say, does that sound like that guru over there that charges for? It was the brother right over there. But you know what I mean? So
Right.
this is valuable. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? And then it's convertible. And that's why I say this is why I'm charging. Or I decide, hey, look, this is marketing. I'm giving it away. Can we create some content? Da 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 da. Go from there. Does that kind of encapsulate what we wanted to get into?
Yeah, so I think like everything you said is something I have to do before I can get to the funnel. So I think it's all stuff that I can do. I'm actually really glad we had this conversation before the new site is up. I'm glad we're recording it so my sister can, listen to. I have notes, but she can also listen to what you're saying. So I think it's all actionable. I've done a new photo shoot, so we have new images, and like I think that's good. And I have been really trying to figure out how to engage my email list more because I don't get a lot of engagement there. And I think I maybe have, I don't know, like 400 people, 500 people who, all opted in on their own. So I'm just
That's
trying to,
gold mine.
yeah.
500 people. And I want to give you some math. right? And this math right here just it typically changes everything for everybody. And you may have heard some of this stuff, but listen, 25, if we got, let's say we got 500 now, right? And
Mhm.
we just asked that 500. Here's a tip and a tool. That 500 to, hey, look, could you tell two people, right, to jump onto the list because I got an offer for them. And if they jump on, opt in, I got an offer for you,
Mhm.
right? You don't even have to tell them what the offer is yet. It could be that pen. It could be anything, right? It could
Mhm.
be a page. Get this, what I'm getting ready to say next. It could be a page of the new thing coming up long before you have to create and put money into that new thing. It's
Mhm.
just an idea. You may say, well, you know what? I'm going to test something. Use that as your giveaway
Right.
for bringing extra people on. So now let's say you get 1,000, what they call 1,000 true fans, right? Kevin Kelly talked about it in his book, 1,000 True Fans. 1,000 true fans that are paying you just $100 a year.
Mm.
1,000 true fans. Now, this is your email list. This is people that, from your pages. You got them into a spot where you can say, you now purchase from me just 1,000, purchasing $100, not a month, a year. That's $100,000 payday. That's a six-figure payday.
Right.
Now, we can do the math to see, I want to get to, seven figures. Well,
Mhm.
let's engage 2,000 more. Let's engage 10,000. Let's get a 10,000 email list.
Right.
Engaged. Why? Because you're engaging them. You're offering something that helps their soul. You're not just selling them all the time. You send them pieces of information. That's the mistakes that I made when I was first starting out, right? And I was like, wait a minute. Every time I talk to them, I'm selling.
Mm.
Don't do that. Just tell, hey, look, here's something sad happened in my life. I got one from a guy that I buy stuff from. And he says, my dad died. Told the story, and it was a lovely story. No selling at all, nothing, no links, nothing. He just
Mhm.
wanted to tell us a story of something sad happening in his life. Dad got COVID, died, right? That's an engaging strategy,
Right.
right? And of course, this might be a little cathartic for him to get it off his chest. But hey, if you've looked at your people like family, you just told them a personal story. Now they don't feel like a customer,
Right.
stuff
Right.
like that. So imagine you've got 10,000 of
Right.
those folks that you've developed over time. And I got some strategies, my goodness gracious, on how to get a large email list fast,
I
right?
just feel so overwhelmed about all the details. Like this is also very detailed. And I feel like I need help. But I've hired, like I started out I ended last year and started out this year with an ads person and a social media person and like all these people because I felt like they were the experts. And so like if I could focus on creating a really good product and giving them good content to do the other things, I thought that that would work, and it cost a lot of money with no conversion. Like the people who bought the planner were going to buy the planner without all of that. Like they were already engaged or they knew me or whatever, they followed me on Twitter. So they were already going to do that. All of that didn't result in things. And so
Mhm.
I'm like, people go back and forth like you should have a team, or some people are just like, yeah, at the end of the day, I wouldn't pay anyone to do ads because you know your product, you need to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, which one is it? Because
Mhm.
I feel overwhelmed needing to do it all.
And that is, as entrepreneurs, what we're constantly fighting against. I suffer from it too, right?
Mhm.
I've got all the software. I even try to teach people how to use the software I have. And it doesn't always, I hire from Fiverr. I hire from Google. I hire from, right?
Right.
And there's certain things that I decided I don't hire out. And then
Mm.
I say, wait a minute, what is the one traffic funnel that seems to work? And it is when I'm doing this, what we're doing right now.
Mhm.
When I put something like that out, I say, okay, I ask my permissions. I say, hey, can I use this in part of my marketing material? I'm giving you this consulting, which obviously is thousands of dollars, as you can tell, worth of stuff.
Right.
Can I put this in? Yeah, you can do it. And it just works. People love seeing the interaction and seeing
Mhm.
how you are able to take someone from a point to another point, right?
Right.
Because they're
Right.
thinking if that could be me, and I get calls
Right.
from that all the
Yeah.
time. Hey, could you work with me? What you're going to have to decide oftentimes is, what is that thing that you do better than anybody else, right? And it could be just you getting on camera. It could be whatever you have found your engagement strategy is with your followers. What is it? What is it about you? What is it that they dig? You know what I mean? And then leverage that, because then that's your tool, that's your traffic source, and you don't outsource that. You outsource the repeatables.
Okay.
For example, you can outsource the, if somebody calls because their link didn't work, that don't come to me. That will go to somebody you can hire out. If the site breaks down because you had so much traffic to it because you ran a bomb ad with all the great copy, that's a repeatable thing, right? You don't want the call coming to you, it'll drive you nuts.
Mm-hmm.
What else is repeatable? That's why when I was talking about at the top of the hour, getting what you do down on paper, just as you do it, because it
Right.
was an exercise to see what can be given to somebody else.
Mm.
And if they have now a list of things that is essentially you, right? That's essentially
Right.
you, but not you, then you can just say it's on page 17, right? This is what you do next. Right now, we now line up the things that we can say to ourselves. If I just did this, it brings in this. Then
Mm.
you get out of the mundane, you get out of the weeds, if you will, and you're able to look at it and go, okay, John does this, Jenny does this, Gerald does this, right? My overseas person does this,
Right.
and I even have a manager for them. That's when you're making some cake, though,
Right. Right. Right.
right? When you're making some nice money,
Yeah.
then you can say, I can afford. Imagine you're making, let's say you're making $150,000 a month, right? And it's not impossible to do. It's just
Right.
math. We got to figure out
Mm-hmm.
the right thing, blah, blah, blah. Imagine you're making $150,000 a month from all the other activities you do, the planner, if you're doing these engagement strategies, you're doing these workshops, da, da, da.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can pay somebody. You can literally say, I found somebody from somebody else, maybe they suggested, and I'm paying $10,000 a month to have all this done. The 10 repeatable things. It could be $1,000 to your person overseas. You can be, well, if you're going that way, it could be the $500 a month to the stay-at-home dad, whatever. Right? If somebody's trying to make a
Okay.
little extra cash, or they got a skill set, you know what I mean? They just type like crazy. Yep, I'm
Okay.
giving you that. Here's an audio of me doing a thing. I need you to convert that into words. And when you do that, give it back to me. I'm going to send it to my person that's going to put it on the site.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's some of the stuff we do at first until we get okay, that's repeatable. Right. And that's where
Right.
you'll suffer a little bit. But guess what? When we went to a 9 to 5 job and gave them 10 hours of our day,
Yep.
right? Well,
Yeah.
that was suffering too.
Mm-hmm.
you know, but we did it.
Right.
So let's try to repeat some of that for the meantime. Let's say I put in 4 hours of planning. This is given over to them. My day is done. I go off and do the things I love to do, collect more material, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Income's coming in. Income's not coming in. You're fired. Uh, no, wait a minute. You're 1099, not an employee. Where I just won't work with you again.
Right.
And trust me, I've gone through, oh my goodness, right? You will go through some folks. But once you get that
Yeah.
four that are just killing the game, right? That just knows when to call you. And sometimes if you're buying, getting help overseas or whatever, sometimes they won't think for themselves because they don't want to make a mistake.
Right. Mm-hmm.
and you give them the processes that this doesn't change. Doom, 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 doom. Every single month, I'm doing this. That's your job. Now, I use software, right? I used to be anti-software because I was like, I want to do it myself. I'm a purist. Okay, you be broke then, right?
Right.
Instead, I start
Yeah.
saying, here's how I can buy it one time, push the button, right? That's what we wanted to talk about too, the automation.
Right.
Push one, button and it goes out. Wait a minute. I can send an email out over 7 days. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Sit there on Sunday, plan them out. Boom, push the button. Yeah, but when I won't bother my folks, not if you're your friends. First
Right.
email, you're talking about this. Second email, you're talking about this. By the way, I just came out with the new pages. What do you guys think? Engagement strategy. Oh, hey, I'm running this contest. Hey, to the best idea wins. Crowdsourcing. You see my point here? Now
Yeah.
you're having fun. Now you're
Yeah.
just going, and you automate it, press the button, and then 7 emails. You can plan them even more than that, right? You can plan those things all the way out. And I know you're using ConvertKit. I use ConvertKit. I use ConvertKit, and then I use
Do
a
you
lot of other ones.
do you say no to MailChimp in general? I know a lot of people don't like MailChimp.
I use MailChimp for a newsletter that I'm running with a collaborator of mine. I just
Mhm.
don't like it better than some of the other stuff I like,
Okay.
right? I mean,
That makes sense.
I've seen people build big businesses with MailChimp, right?
Hmm.
2,500 free, they allow you to do a lot of stuff. Sometimes it's not even the service, it's what you're putting into the
Yeah.
stuff. So
Mhm.
yeah, can you rock MailChimp? Yeah, absolutely. If that's all you got, it's like, I got no money and I need them 2,500. Okay, let's go get
Right.
2,500 email listers to get us, think about the math, right? If we can get half of them to engage, get us
Hmm.
$100 a year, that's $100,000 payday. I can go forward to buy a better email service.
Right. Right.
Or not, just rock it. They have automations in
Hmm.
MailChimp. It's just not as easy that I noticed to use.
Okay.
MailChimp didn't like affiliate marketing for a long time, right? They didn't
Right.
like people leaving links. Well, guess what? That's what I do. That's what I earn,
Hmm.
right? So
Yeah.
ConvertKit was like, come on, give me $29 a month and you can rock some stuff. But I use other ones too. I'll use Sendinblue. I'm testing other ones out, free versions to maybe I got a campaign I'm running, right? And I said, I don't want to run it to this one. I want to try out this new one, run that, see how it goes,
Right.
right? The
That makes
main
sense.
thing is you're dropping people over into a funnel from that list. So, you know what I mean? If you got funnels in place and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the goal. That's absolutely the goal.
Yeah. And it's visualizable, but you will find yourself mired in the muck of it until
Hmm.
you develop the systems and processes that you can automate via people or software. But in the
Right.
meantime, be okay with that. You know what I mean? It'll serve you. Trust when I say this. What's your degree in, by the way?
Policy and social relations.
Okay. Policy and social relations. You remember them dang papers you had to write?
Yes.
All the books. Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember mine too, right? I used to tell my professors, look, somebody need to send me a check. 30-page paper. Now I got a
Yeah.
process to monetize that. But so imagine you got to read 20 books just to write a
Like the
10-page paper.
paper. Yeah.
My point is all of these moving parts. And then
Hmm.
you developed a system. You said, wait a minute, if I just went to the table of contents, I can pick out based on my theme. Wait a minute, I don't have to read this whole book, just a
Right.
section.
Yeah.
That comes in with another section. And then here's somebody arguing against that section. And you put it
Hmm.
together, same concept. In the meantime, until you develop that system, you're doing this. And you're looking at it and going, farm this out, keep this in. This is a part of the element. This is what is my sweet spot, right? This is the thing that gets you up in the morning.
Right.
Now you're running the empire. right? You got your empire going, and then you have, like a regular business, you have the managers of, and you incentivize them. One thing that if you find the people that will work with you on a pay to play kind of basis, like if we make money, you make money,
Right.
right? Here's enough to get some hamburger, but if we make a killing on this, I'll bonus you out enough to get you some steak.
Right.
For the meat eaters out there.
Yeah. And I definitely like, I want to, I'll make the most money with direct sales, but wholesaling is something that I want to leverage a lot as well. And I've been looking at like, what does wholesaling look like in this new, bookstores and things like that were already kind of, dying, but especially post pandemic, what does that look like? But I don't just see this like in a bookstore.
Right.
So, like you said, those affiliates, those influencers, um, I don't post a lot. I'm working on that, but like Instagram, I have friends who are like, you should be, and I will get there. But there are moms who are rocking businesses and looking good already on social media. So I'm like,
Uh-huh.
I can leverage them. Like how
That's it.
are y'all? People are looking at, they'll have hundreds of thousands of followers, and they're like, how are you managing all these things? So I'm like, if I can leverage you to say like I have a game plan, that'll be helpful. So it's just all those pieces, like
Mhm.
bringing all those pieces together
Absolutely.
along with the funnel and the emails and the keywords, like the
I
SEO,
know it
all of that.
seems like a lot. It's just like we want to go to the mall. That's the goal, right? Now, there's a whole bunch of streets you can go down,
Right.
but oftentimes you pick one. And sometimes this is what we're doing when we are deciding. We're saying, you know what? For the month of June or May 15th on to June 15th, I'm picking one and I'm seeing how it goes. Oh, that was a really good route. There was no problems. Nobody threw rocks at my car. You know what I mean? All this kind of stuff. I didn't have to like
Right.
watch out for kids. You see what I mean? Now
Mm-hmm.
that brings all that you could do into something that you decided to do one at a time.
Right.
And this is what keeps overwhelm. There's two things that, in my estimation, that keeps overwhelm at bay. And on a lot of levels, I don't believe in overwhelm because I'm kind of like in the Grant Cardone space, right? I believe in this overwhelm is underworking, right? Or in other words, under systematizing,
Right. Right.
right? Under outsourcing, stuff like that. So we pick something. Okay, I'm doing IG, I'm doing Instagram for a month. All my marketing dollars, everything goes to Instagram. Boom. All right. At the end of the month, you will get a notice that says made money, lost money.
Right.
All right. All right. Cool. I see that. People don't seem to be there for what I'm offering or not. Next month, all I'm doing is influencers. I'm going to take the same marketing budget that I would have used on Instagram, 200, 300, whatever dollars, and I'm going to find an influencer to put my product in front of. Pay them 200, 300 bucks. And there's ways there. I mean, there's sites that you can, go to find influencers, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Boom. See how that works. Now, that is a systematized way, but it's saying no to everything else.
Right.
You may find one, you go, I had no idea that Pinterest or Etsy was the one. It's the traffic source for this type of material. It's giving me the most sales. Then we fire everything else
Right.
until that stops working.
Mm-hmm.
But those little tests are the things, right? Just like with your real estate, you says, you know what? I've had contractors that just ain't no good. But then I notice if I use this, I get pretty good card. They're medium in terms of price, but they show up, they work, it's done. Beautiful.
Right.
But if I go this route, stinks every time. Right?
True.
System. Develop that and it will help you. Trust when I say this. Otherwise, it'll be overwhelmed. I should be doing this. I should be doing this. No, no.
Right.
I do one thing at a time all day. Right? This is what I try to do with my consulting. it used to be Wednesdays. I called it Work for the World Wednesdays. I would have all day Wednesday, come on in. All right. This is what I'm giving away, free stuff, right? Just free material, free advice, whatever. Just here's my Calendly link. Get on it. Let's wrap. Right now,
Yeah,
I'm creating content. So it's not just,
exactly.
you see what I mean? Give, give, give. Now you could take that content and chop it up and do all kind of cool things, but it's focused. Nothing
Right.
else happens on that day but that. Same
Hmm.
with you, especially now that your interests are expanding, so does anxiety level potential,
Hmm.
right? So by doing this, it's going I'm telling you, it's going to help you tremendously. And when you find those 4 or 5 people that you can rely on, y'all make money together. Hey, I'm going to give you a little bit, but we're going to make a lot if this works. Now they're incentivized.
Right.
Nobody
Right.
can just get a what? I'm going to give you 5,000 to run some copy. The hell if I am. You know what I mean? Now, don't get me wrong. Perhaps I should have, but not for this product.
Right.
For my $2,000 plan over here, yes, Alaric, I will give you money to run my YouTube ads.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I will give you money. But for the $297 one, I'll see how I can do.
Yeah. That
Right.
makes sense.
And then do that over and over. So now let's go ahead and wrap this up with understanding. Send this to your person that's going to build. If they got
Okay.
any questions, trust, let them, feel free to call me, right? I'm not going to take over. Just tell them, look, come on in, understand what he's trying to do, and then apply it and test it. Sometimes we don't know what'll work. We don't know if that image right here on screen will work versus another image. Go ahead and
Right.
grab out of there. So sometimes we just don't know. We keep testing though. And
Right.
I want you to have
Absolutely.
fun with this stuff.
Yeah, and I can also when she gets done, can I send you
Mhm.
the site to
Yeah,
take a look at?
absolutely. Absolutely. I have
Okay.
that happen all the time, right? I had a guy that just launched 2 new sites and he wanted me to take a look at them. And I says, okay, all right. I came onto your site and I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to not, it was pretty,
Yeah.
right? Yeah,
Yeah.
beautiful colors. I said, but I didn't know what you wanted. He said, oh, yeah, right. My call to action, my pretty pictures up front and this, that, and the other. And that's what it's typically about. Or it's all oriented toward the person.
Right.
People hit the site and they go, well, what are you doing for me? I see you everywhere, right?
That
You're
makes sense.
posing.
Yeah.
What does that got to do with me?
Hmm.
So that'll help you a little bit.
Okay.
All right. Any other questions before we take off?
No, this sounds good. This is really helpful in a few ways. As I'm like, I would love to be full time doing this, but it's just not creating the income. So as I'm doing the other things that are, I think that mentality of focusing on one thing,
Mm-hmm.
I kind of just wrote some notes about like building this version of the planner was really really hard, but now it's built, so it's out of like something I synthesized out of what you're saying is like build it, monitor it, and then create the system around it, right, to see
Yep.
where you can outsource. So I feel like we've done the hard thing with the product, we built it, and I really love it, and when people get it they love it. So now it's just like creating the system, then I can move to I felt like everything had to be at once, like the product and then the social media, because I felt like we had one launch.
Mm,
So if everything's not ready for that one launch, the funnel, the social media, the website, then that was anxiety. But looking at it like, okay, we can continually relaunch and get these other things right and see what works. And that makes me feel a lot better.
absolutely. It's so it works so well, right? I think about movies that you go, they call it movies that have back in the day when we were watching movies at the theater, that has legs. It's like, how does a movie
Yeah,
have legs?
right.
Right? Well, it just gets word of mouth and then it just grows. They didn't put a lot of budgeting into it. They put it in the hands of a few maybe influencers that talked about it. And then
Mhm.
it just kept making money. Then the Oscars comes out. He wins an Oscar, and then it explodes again.
Right.
And you go,
Yeah.
how does that happen? Well, guess what? How does a Mariah Carey have a song she wrote, I don't know how long ago, or
Oh my
Stephen
God.
King, get this, comes out with a movie, the clown movie. I can't even think of the name of it now, but
It,
right? Yeah. He wrote that book a long time ago, but this
right.
is what you're doing. These are like
Yeah.
little mutual funds. This
Mm,
is how you build wealth. It's out, it can be brought back in and refurbished.
mm,
It can be brought back in and pieced out. It can be
right.
brought back in and new cup, all kinds of stuff. You can build classes around it. You can build engagement strategies around it. Oh my God, don't get me going on that. But that's what's exciting about building it once, putting the hard work in,
Right.
right?
Right.
We'll give 40 hours to a job, but not on one product. Are you kidding me right now?
Mhm.
We should be able to launch a product a week. That's my goal.